What's up guys, WWE Fan Talker here. Today I am bringing you my WrestleMania 39 predictions. So big announcement, for those of you that don't know, I will be at WrestleMania 39 with my dad, night 1 and night 2, so you're more than welcome to come up and say what's up. If you want to, don't be scared, I won't bite. I probably will be doing like a vlog or filming, but it is my first ever WrestleMania, so it's so cool that it's a night 1 and night 2 event. I will also be at the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, so night after Mania. I will be there as well at the Crypto Arena, so keep a lookout for that as well. But without further ado, let's get right into my WrestleMania 39 predictions. Alright, so the first match on the card, it was announced that it is on night 1. We got John Cena versus the current United States Champion, Austin Theory, and for a lot of people, this is actually a dream match. It is a dream match for me. I don't think it's like a big dream match, but it's kind of interesting to see the young generation versus, I guess you could say, the older generation. John Cena is my generation, so I don't really like to say it's the older generation. Like, Cena was wrestling full-time like 7 years ago, so it's like, I don't know. I don't really consider him like a legend yet. But anyways, we got John Cena, probably the best United States champion of all time, versus the current U.S. champion. Cena's never held this version of the United States Championship, so it's going to be very interesting to kind of see what happens here. We got to put some realism into this prediction as well, because think about it. Is Cena, like, does he have a busy movie schedule right now? You know what I mean? Like, is he coming back full time? Is he going to have a long title reign? And I'm not quite sure with that, but that's something I definitely have to consider when making this prediction. Austin Theory, I could definitely see Austin Theory winning just because John Cena has kind of come back to put guys over, so I could see that happening. But I could also see Cena winning and then holding an open challenge the following night on Raw and losing it maybe to a returning superstar, or maybe he carries it till SummerSlam and loses it back to Austin Theory. But I'm going to stay safe with this theory. I'm going to say Austin Theory beats John Cena. A lot of people are saying Cena's going to win, but I just kind of feel in my gut that Theory's going to win. That's just my theory. My theory is that Austin Theory is going to beat John Cena. I don't know. It's a gut feeling. I'm going to run with it. Austin Theory to defeat John Cena and retain the United States Championship. All right, next up we got Damage Control versus Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch in a 6-woman tag team match. I'm just going to say that Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch are going to win. I don't see why they would bring Trish Stratus and Lita in to a big-time WrestleMania match like this. Like, they're bringing them in. Like, how often do these, women wrestle? Not often. So I just think that, like, in my gut, I feel like Damage Control is going to lose. So I'm going to predict Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch to pick up the win. Next up, we have Charlotte Flair, the current SmackDown Women's Champion, going one-on-one with the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Rhea Ripley, and current member of the Judgment Day. I'm just going to go with Rhea Ripley on this one. I think that's the obvious one. The only thing that worries me about this card is I feel like there's a lot of obvious ones. There's a lot of, like, very difficult ones, I feel like, but there's also a lot of easy ones that might be too predictable to the point where you predict it wrong. That's my only concern, especially with the John Cena match and this match right here. I'm going to stick with Rhea Ripley to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. But if you remember last year, Charlotte Flair did defeat Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, and the obvious prediction was Ronda Rousey. So I'm going to stick with Rhea Ripley, or else people are going to riot. Hopefully this isn't the main event of night 1. That would be a disappointment. There's another match that I'm about to predict that should main event the show. Alrighty, so next up we have the main event, what should be the main event of night 1. It should be the main event. I'm not going to announce anything because we don't know if it's the main event. It should be the main event, and I think it should be announced the main event the day of. Like, how epic would that be? We have the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. We have the biggest story going on for the past, 6 months, 8 months-ish, with Sami Zayn and the Usos and the Bloodline, and it's all culminated and it's come down to this moment right here. And a lot of people are saying, well, Kevin Owens wasn't really a big part of it. He was a big part. He's kind of like what started this whole thing, because he was one of Reigns' first opponents as Universal Champion, and it led into him fighting Reigns again, and Sami got involved, and it's all one big story, and it's proper that Kevin Owens is getting this spot right here, especially for the titles. I don't think it's going to go down like a lot of people think it's going to. A lot of people are thinking that it's going to be KO and Sami taking the win, and the Usos, losing and the Bloodline falling apart and whatnot. I'm going to do a bold prediction right here. In the title of this video, it does say bold predictions, so there are bold predictions in here. So, I'm going to predict something, not just the outcome, but I'm going to predict how the outcome occurs. So, I do predict that it's going to be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens walking away, the new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions. But how is it going to happen? I think everybody's been fooled by Jey Uso attacking Sami and saying, family first, family first. But I don't believe that that's the full truth. I don't believe that that's fully the case. And a lot of people are so fooled by that. And, I could totally look like a fool if it's just like a clean finish. But for me personally, I think it's going to come down to Sami and Jey. Or not Sami and Jey. It's going to come down to Sami. Well, Sami and Jey are going to fight each other. Jay's going to respect Sami. He's going to realize that he respects Sami this whole time. And then it's going to come down to Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. Maybe Kevin Owens and Jimmy Uso. And what's going to happen is the ref will get knocked out or something. Maybe Jimmy has a chair. He goes to hit Sami with the chair. Jey grabs it, hits Jimmy over the head with it maybe. Or maybe doesn't hit him, but he definitely turns on him and Jimmy's like, what the heck? He walks out. And he allows Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to win. And this is like the biggest weapon for the Bloodline right now is Jey Uso because everybody's so fooled that he's totally in on this. But I'm not 100% fully convinced that that is the case. I do think that there is still part of him that resents Roman Reigns and his brother Solo Sikoa as well as Paul Heyman. So my prediction is that Jey Uso causes the Usos to lose the tag team titles, in which Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens pick up the win in the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania. There's my prediction. No, I'm not predicting any of these tag team matches. Actually, I will predict them. I actually don't know all the opponents and stuff. I just think it's lackluster that we're even getting these matches. It is what it is. But if I have to give my prediction right now, I'm going to say that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler win the first tag team turmoil match. I don't know if it's a turmoil, it's some showcase. And then the second one, I'm going to go with Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Or maybe Chad Gable and... Maybe I'll go with the Alpha Academy on that one. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Alpha Academy to win the men's version of whatever tag match they're doing. But moving on to the next prediction right now, we have Logan Paul going one-on-one in his second ever WrestleMania match going up against Seth freaking Rollins. This is a very difficult one to predict. Not because I think that Logan Paul is on par with Seth Rollins. By any means, that is not the case. I just think that, Logan Paul lost to Reigns, and they're making him look strong by knocking out Seth Rollins. So what I think is going to happen is I'm going to predict Seth Rollins to win, but I think there is going to be a knockout case where he does get knocked out. Maybe Seth Rollins falls outside of the ring, or maybe he gets knocked out, everybody thinks it's over, it's just a false finish, Seth Rollins kicks out, hits him with a stomp. I do think that there's definitely going to be some sort of frog splash off the top, going through a table, whether it's Rollins or Paul. What I think should happen is I think there should be maybe 3 tables set up like they usually do at WrestleMania. And the first table, frog splash onto Seth Rollins. Second table, frog splash onto Logan Paul somewhere later on in the match. But I am going to predict Seth Rollins to defeat Logan Paul. Alright, so a little change of scenery, change of shirt, different day. What happened was that my tripod totally just snapped and fell apart, so I had to get a new one. So now I have that set up. Hopefully this gets up in time for WrestleMania. But anyways, the point is, we're jumping into the Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat match. We have Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus in one of the most anticipated matches of WrestleMania 39. I believe this is happening on night 2 now. This is a very hard one to predict just because I feel like Sheamus should win because it's the proper time. It's WrestleMania, grandest stage of them all. Drew McIntyre should win because, he needs that big win at WrestleMania for a championship. That would be cool. But then Gunther, if he loses and his title reign is cut short. So what do you do here? It's kind of like a lose-lose in all scenarios. Sheamus kind of needs it, especially after losing to Gunther. And then Drew McIntyre kind of needs it because what is he going to feud with Sheamus forever? And then Gunther kind of needs it unless he, goes on to fight for a heavyweight championship in the future. But for the sake of, just completing, or maybe not completing, but for the sake of my sanity, I guess you could say, and the rest of everybody's sanity, I think it's proper that Sheamus wins the IC championship right here. This is the last championship he needs to win in order to become a Grand Slam champion, and I think it's only proper that he becomes the Intercontinental Champion. So for my prediction for this match, I'm going to go with Sheamus to become the brand new Intercontinental Champion. Alrighty, next up, we have Brock Lesnar going one-on-one with the Nigerian Giant, Omos. I'm going to predict Brock Lesnar for this one. I don't think there's a lot to say. I do think that this is going to be an interesting match, and it kind of sucks that we didn't get the final match between Bobby and Brock. I think that should have, like, if anything, should have been the WrestleMania match. I know we did get an Elimination Chamber, but it ended weird. We had so much build towards that match. Finally, like, you know, that feud finally ending. And it kind of just, like, fell off a cliff, and we never really heard about it again. So now we have Omos versus Brock. I don't think Omos is going to win. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar. I think last year, Bobby Lashley beat Omos last year at Mania. So I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar to pick up Omos. F5, 1, 2, 3, it is done. So prediction, Brock Lesnar. Next up, we have Asuka versus the current Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. For those of you that are wondering, I don't have my Women's Championships out right now. They're not on the wall. They're actually upstairs in storage, just because I didn't have enough room for some of my championships in this room anymore. But anyways, my prediction for this match, we have Bianca Belair, the historic Raw Women's Championship reign. She's been SmackDown Women's Champion, now she's Raw Women's Champion. And I think it's just... it's been a historic reign for Bianca Belair. She seems like she's always champion, which is kind of a cool thing, and it looks good on her part. But I'm going to go with... Man, I don't know. I'm going to go with Bianca Belair to retain the Raw Women's Championship. I just don't see why we need Asuka as champion again. Everybody always talks about how Asuka is just like this wonderful, amazing wrestler, and she is. But, like, people also talk about her like she's never been champion before, and she's been champion. Like, she was one of the, like... not longest reigning, but she held that Raw Women's Championship for a very, very long time during the pandemic era. And it was just kind of boring, and it was lackluster. So I'm going to go with Bianca Belair to retain the Raw Women's Championship. I would love to see maybe Trish Stratus versus Bianca Belair, or maybe even Lita versus Bianca Belair. Maybe in the future you could even have Becky Lynch win back her Raw Women's Championship from Bianca Belair. See what happens there. I'm going to go with Bianca to retain the Raw Women's Championship. Alrighty, next up, we have the Hell in the Cell match. We have the Rated R Superstar Edge, or the Brood Edge, I'm not really sure which one he's going to be, versus Finn Balor, the Demon Finn Balor, in a Hell in a Cell. There's rumors that the cell's not red anymore, that it's actually silver again. It's a regular cage. It actually kind of looks smaller to me. I could be wrong. But anyways, it is in Hell in a Cell. We have Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor. I'm going to predict the Demon Finn Balor to win, because everybody's predicting Edge right now, and everybody keeps thinking that, like, Finn Balor has, like, a number over Edge and wins, but he doesn't, because Edge has beat Balor the majority of the times. And it may seem like the, you know, Judgment Day is the more dominant one. They keep coming back. But if you look back, I believe that Edge has beat the Judgment Day more times than Judgment Day's beat Edge. Could be wrong on that, but I'm going to go with Finn Balor here. I think that, like, you know, Edge doesn't technically need to win here. I mean, if he does, hopefully, then it's like they're done, and he can move on to, like, face Cody Rhodes or something like that, or maybe, like, I don't know, John Cena or something to build up to SummerSlam. That would be cool. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there, but I'm going to say Finn Balor wins. It is in a Hell in a Cell, and it is the Brute Edge, I assume, versus the Demon Finn Balor. So I think this match is going to be maybe the best match of the night. Maybe. Who knows? If it's not, maybe it'll be at least the show stealer that everybody remembers. But I can't wait to see this match in person. It's going to be great. Demon Finn Balor, maybe the purple demon, that would be kind of sick. It does seem like he's probably going to be red, though. I'm not quite sure, but I think a purple demon would be cool. But my prediction for the Hell in a Cell match, Finn Balor. Next up, we have the Family Feud match. We have Dominic Mysterio going up against his father, Rey Mysterio. This has been one of the most built-up and most anticipated matches for over probably, I would say, the past year. Even before Dominic turned on Rey, there was some tension between Rey and Dom. And I'm so glad that they didn't do the match then and that they waited to do it now at WrestleMania. I thought they were going to do it last year at WrestleMania, but they didn't, and now they're doing it this year. And you know what? They did a perfect job waiting for this match to happen with the build. And because I remember that Rey Mysterio was losing because of Dominic for a while, even when they were a team. And then eventually Dom turned on his father and then did the whole Judgment Day thing. And his character progression is so much better. He's so much better as a heel than as a face. He's just, I don't know. I don't know why. He just does a lot better as a heel. And, you know, I think that, personally, I think that Dominic is going to beat Rey Mysterio and take his mask. Maybe not in a respectful way, but he takes his mask and Rey Mysterio goes away for a while, and Dominic mocks his father wearing the mask. And then maybe down the line they have a match one-on-one where Rey actually, you know, takes his mask back or beats Rey Mysterio. Or not Rey Mysterio, sorry, Dominic Mysterio. I'm not quite sure. There's a million different ways you could go with this. I don't think this is the end of it. You know, it could very well be the end of it since Rey is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But I do think some shenanigans are going to happen here where maybe Dominic disrespects his father by taking the mask, and that'll give him so much heat. It'll be crazy. But I'm gonna go with Dominic Mysterio to pick up the win against his dad. Like, how crazy would that be? But I could very well be wrong. I mean, the entire Judgment Day could lose, and Rhea Ripley wins and goes her separate way. Not quite sure what happens here, but I'm gonna go with Dominic Mysterio having every single member of the Judgment Day win at WrestleMania. So my prediction: Dominic Mysterio. Alrighty guys, now we have the main event of WrestleMania 39. I'm so pumped for this. We have not seen Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes even lay any fists on each other yet or even touch each other. We've only seen them like come face to face once on the mic, and it was awesome, and now we're going to see them come together and fight at WrestleMania. I'm so pumped for this match. It is for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Such a long championship title name, and I'm very curious to see how this match goes down. I think that a match of this caliber definitely deserves to be in the main event of WrestleMania, especially Cody Rhodes. And it's so hard. It's mind-boggling. Like, who is going to win this match? We got Roman Reigns, who I've predicted against Roman Reigns a couple of times in his 3-year title reign. I think it's been about 3 years, right? Some around there, or maybe it's like 2.5 years, something like that. But anyways, I've betted against Reigns a couple of times, and he's just proven time and time again that you can't really bet against Roman Reigns. But then you get a lot of people talking about how this is Cody's time, and they're making you believe like it's Cody's time. And I really, really want it to be Cody's time, but I'm just not sure because I just can't see it really happening. And at the same time, I can. So I'm very conflicted in who I'm gonna predict for this match. Because, you know, I've betted against Reigns and I've lost. But at the same time, I think it's smart for Reigns to lose here because there's still so many different things you could do with the bloodline without these championships. You could have them now throughout the summer. You can build them falling apart and eventually having Reigns versus Jay, or say if Cody wins the championships. I'll give you that prediction in a second, but I'm going to predict Cody Rhodes to win the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. I'm going to give my prediction what's going to happen the following night, but I just think that it's time. You know, like, I don't see anybody else, and I think it's led to this point. Like, initially I was like, oh, it's going to be Drew McIntyre, or it's going to be The Rock, but, you know, like, everybody keeps saying, oh, it's going to be The Rock, but The Rock's not going to beat Roman Reigns for these championships when he's got a schedule like he does. Like, he can't even make an appearance. What makes everybody think that he's going to hold the championships? Like, that's just... I just don't see that happening, especially if the person that's going to beat Roman Reigns is going to beat him. They need to be a decently, like, long-reigning champion, or at least be on television, right? It's a big deal, and that's not going to be The Rock. You got to think realistically here. And so I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes. Like, he's all in, and no pun intended, but he's all in, and he wants to be the face of WWE, and he is right now. And I think if he loses right now, and you build a match for SummerSlam, why would you do that when you have a WrestleMania match already built up, right? This should be it. There's no more build to it. It can't get any bigger. Especially at SummerSlam. Like, why would you do that at SummerSlam? Isn't it in, like, Detroit? But you have California. You have Cody Rhodes in California, right? And it's in Hollywood. It's the grandest stage of them all. Have Rhodes win. It is the right time. Doesn't mean Roman Reigns is trash or that he didn't hit 1,000 days. Like, he's already the most memorable champion of the modern era. Heck, even ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when people just say that, oh, of the current era. No, ever. Like, you've never seen a dominant champion and do as much as Roman Reigns has done. Yeah, Bruno Sammartino, but like, Roman Reigns has a way bigger platform than Bruno Sammartino did. He's way more famous than Bruno Sammartino was at that time. And he's holding these championships right here. So anyways, I'm going to predict Cody Rhodes to become the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. What's going to happen, this prediction, what's going to happen is the following night on Raw, Rhodes will be the first one out. Please welcome Cody Rhodes, yada, yada, yada. Comes out with both titles, raises him up, all this pyro, woohoo! Cody Rhodes is the champ. Gets in the ring, gives a long speech about these championships, how he's proud to hold them. But then he's going to look over at this championship and he's going to be like, this is the one that I was fighting for. This is the one that I truly wanted to earn, even though he's earned both. But he's going to say, why should I carry both world championships when, you know, other men need an opportunity at this one? So he's going to relinquish the Universal Championship. He's going to lay it down in the ring. And later on that night, it's going to be announced that there's going to be maybe like a tournament set up. And a new Universal Champion will be crowned at Backlash. That'll build at WrestleMania Backlash. Maybe Reigns comes out and he's like, nope, I'm fighting for that championship. I'm coming back for my Universal Championship. And when I get that back, I'm coming back for you, Cody. Maybe that can be the match for SummerSlam. Reigns regains the Universal Championship at Backlash, sets up their match maybe for SummerSlam. Something like that. That way, throughout the summer, you have two separate World Championships. You have multiple storylines. And maybe at that point, the Universal Championship will be replaced, or maybe a new design will be placed in for the WWE Championship. That's how you can separate them right there without getting rid of Roman Reigns and having Cody be WWE Champion. It only makes sense. It doesn't hurt Roman, and the only person that's going to hurt is Cody if he loses. So those are my predictions for WrestleMania 39. Make sure to leave your comments down below. I know this is going up like really close to WrestleMania. But just make sure to leave your comments down below your predictions. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. WWE Fan Talk Show, out.